Ford, famous automobile company which in the top 5 most successful automobile companies in the world. But what lays behind this name? What is its origin? Who was the creator and what was his purpose? A person who didn't agree with many in order to preserve his ideology. A person whose revolutionary idea was aimed at improving lives of ordinary people. A person whose name known in the whole world. Henry Ford, a person who changed America.
Henry Ford was an American industrialist who developed a system of mass production based on the assembly line and the conveyor belt.
Ford was born on July 30, 1863. He was one of 6 children born on a farm near Dearborn, Michigan.
Henry Ford attended school until he was 15. Because of his passion for machinery, he became an apprentice in a machine shop, and then he moved to the Detroit Dry Dock Company.
From his apprenticeship, he earned $2.50 a week, but his room and board cost $3.50 a week. To make up for the difference, Ford worked nights repairing clocks and watches.
Ford's father wanted him to be a farmer and gave him 40 acres of timberland in exchange for Ford giving up machinery. Ford accepted the property and built a machinist workshop on the property.
He began working for the Edison Illuminating Company after marrying Clara Bryant. By 1891, he had left the farm completely.
His spare time was spent constructing an automobile with an internal combustion engine. His first car was a small car driven by a 2-cylinder, 4-cycle motor and weighed a very light 500 pounds.
The Detroit Edison Company forced Ford to choose between automobiles and his job in 1899. Ford reacted by forming the Detroit Automobile Company.
The Detroit Automobile Company collapsed because of a disagreement with his financial backers. Another company he tried to form after, called the Henry Ford Automobile Company, was also unsuccessful.
Ford dreamed of creating a low-priced car for the masses. When he was offered aid from a coal dealer, Henry Ford created the Ford Motor Company, founded in 1903.
Ford began the production of the Model A, followed by other models up to the letter S. The public loved it, and by 1907, profits exceeded $1,100,000, and the net worth of the company was $1,038,822.
Ford made the decision to only manufacture one type of car, the Model T or Tin Lizzie, in 1909. It sold for $850 and came in black only. Ford was producing 40,000 cars a year.
Ford had 2 very important goals, which were to cut costs by increasing efficiency and paying higher wages to his employees.
When Ford perfected the assembly line, he rose minimum wage to $5 a day and dropped the price of the Tin Lizzie to $360.
Ford was very famous by this time, but his public activities brought him much less success than his industrial activities did.
He sent his peace ship, the Oscar II, to Europe to seek an end to World War I and improved an anti-Semitic campaign.
In the early 1920s, the company was producing 60% of the United States' total output.
Ford's success was hitting its climax. He was a very stubborn man, and when public taste shifted, he refused to produce anything but the Model T. Ford lost his dominance in the industry to the General Motors Company.
Henry Ford's final years were filled with frustration. The Great Depression brought many changes that Ford would not acknowledge. He also had a bad relationship with his son, Edsel. Ford also refused to work with labor unions.
Ford was a philanthropist and founded the Henry Ford Hospital, the Ford Foundation, and the Ford Museum.
In 1938, Ford suffered from a stroke. It affected his ability to exercise control of his company, but he did not trust Edsel to run it for him.
Henry Ford contributed greatly to the war effort when the Second World War began.
After the war, Henry Ford II, Ford's grandson, took over the company. Henry Ford died on April 7, 1947.